Hey everybody, it's Lon.TV. We haven't looked at a Wyze security camera in a while, but I just got in this new one that I thought you might find of interest. This is the Duo Cam Pan, and this consists of two Wyze cameras grafted together. You've got a fixed position camera on the bottom, and on the top you have a pan and tilt camera, hence the pan in the name. And this allows you to have a fixed camera position on something that's important while you've got another camera here that can move around and keep track of things happening around it. And both of these record independently, so you get two separate files or photos of what is going on, and it might be useful for some of you that are invested in the Wyze ecosystem. It otherwise performs like their other pan and tilt cameras. Now, before we dive into this, I do want to let you know, in the interest of full disclosure, that this came in free of charge from Wyze. However, they have not reviewed or approved what you're about to see before it was uploaded. No other compensation was received, and all opinions are my own. So let's get into it now and see what this camera is all about. Now, the price point on the camera comes in at $69. This camera commands a higher price tag than their other pan camera, and that's because it's actually two cameras in one. But it is powered as a single unit here, as you can see. They have a gasketed USB-C connector on the back. This will connect up to the included power supply. They give you a good length cable here as well. One thing to note, though, is that while the camera can be mounted outside, the power supply it comes with is not outdoor rated. So you will need an outdoor rated power supply if you intend to plug power in outside to the camera. You could, of course, though, run a USB cable from inside to outside if you're able to do that. And that, of course, would prevent having to buy an additional power supply. But just know the included one is not rated for outdoor use. Now, there are a few mounting options for the camera. Of course, you can lay it flat on a table like we're doing here. You do have some adjustments you can make with its stand, and they also have a wall mounting bracket, so you could set it up a different way. Additionally, you can have the camera hang upside down, and there are settings to reverse the image inside of the app, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. Now, video quality out of the cameras is pretty good. It shoots at a 2K resolution. You can see what its outdoor quality looks like here, and then you've got a night vision example here. But like other Wyze cameras, it heavily compresses the video, so you're going to see a lot of artifacts, especially in high motion scenes. Now, I was impressed with the sensitivity of the sensor on this, even when night vision is not on. So a little earlier, I took it over into my basement room back there, and as you can see, the room is very dark. What you're seeing right now is the view that I saw with my eyes, yet the camera saw this. Now, it does do a lot of frame blending, so you don't get as much detail with fast motion, but it was very impressive to see a very good quality image, even without having to turn the night vision on. Both of these cameras are the same from a specification standpoint, so they both have the same 106-degree field of view, along with the same 2K resolution and all the same night vision features. I would have liked for the bottom camera maybe to have a wider field of view and a narrower field of view on the pan, or vice versa, but these are really just the same cameras, one attached to a motor and the other one in a fixed position. Now, like other Wyze cameras, you've got a speaker and a microphone on this camera. The speaker is on the bottom unit, as you can see. It's not terribly loud, but it's loud enough that if somebody was standing next to it, they could hear you and have a conversation. And the microphone quality you can have a listen to right here.
Hello camera, this is Lon. I'm testing the microphone so you can hear what it sounds like.
Now, like other Wyze cameras, you do have an SD card option here if you want to make recordings without having to pay their subscription fees. That SD card slot is on the bottom here, and it's nicely gasketed for outdoor use, and I'll show you how the SD card works as we work our way into the app, which we're going to take a look at right now. Now, inside of the Wyze app here, you will see the Duo represented as a single item, but you get both camera views simultaneously. One thing to note is that this camera requires the Wyze app to work. It doesn't work with RTSP servers like some of the older Wyze cameras did. This one is locked in to the app. Now, if I tap on the Duo here, I can get into the settings where I can control the camera manually. So I can, of course, move the camera up and down and left and right here. It's got a good range of motion to it, as you can see, so I can go all the way up to the top here, along with all the way to the bottom, and you can pretty much turn the camera around 365 degrees, although you do have a stop point, then you have to move the camera back. What's neat is that when you hit the stop point, your phone will give you a little bit of haptic feedback, along with a little green indicator there to let you know you've reached the limit of how far the camera can turn. And so there, of course, you can go back in the other direction. Now, one thing I'm noticing here is that it's having a hard time with the LED lights I have here in my studio. So you can see there is some banding there that I wasn't able to get rid of. Now, by default, the way this works is that the top camera will track motion. So I'm going to turn that feature back on here. And when it spots some motion here, it will try to follow that motion around. And of course, if you've got the SD card in, you're going to be recording that as it goes. So you do have the option to have the camera kind of work as a little automatic tracker while the fixed camera here stays in that fixed position. The field of view, again, is 106 degrees. I would have liked the bottom camera to have been a little wider. They're both with the same field of view, but it's kind of nice to have this other camera that can move around freely while the bottom one here stays focused in on what you need it focused in on. Now you can also have it do patrols where it scans around by waypoints, but I prefer it to work automatically whenever it spots some kind of motion. Now back out at the home screen here, if I click on events, we can go into all the motion events that the camera has picked up. Now if you are not paying for the subscription, you don't get any of the AI detection features. So for example, on the subscription tier, it can detect people and vehicles and pets. This one will only give you a notification when there's some kind of motion. So you may get more false alarms without the subscription, where you can filter it out to only give you people, for example. Now, if you click on an event here and you don't have the subscription, all you're going to get on the event list is a still frame of what the camera picked up. If you try to hit play here, it's going to do the upsell to try to get you to pay for it. But if I tap on the SD card here, because my SD card is recording continuously, I can go to the SD card and it will take me now right to where that event occurred. So I'm able to tune into it fairly easily without having to subscribe to the cloud service. Of course, if somebody walks off with the camera, your recording goes with it because this recording is on the camera and is not being sent to the cloud. Now, what you can do, though, let me rewind it a little bit, is transfer the image from the camera to your phone. And you do that by clicking on record here. And what this will do is basically record the stream that's coming out of the camera's SD card. It's not going to let you download a file. You have to basically stream it to your phone and record it, and then it'll drop the recording into your camera roll. Now, of course, on the subscription tier, you will have a short video clip in the cloud that you can download, but here you do have to go through a little bit more extra effort if you don't want to accrue the subscription fees. Now, the recording, though, will come over as two separate videos. So you have one from the top camera, and the other one will be from the bottom camera, and both are in the full resolution of what that camera records. So you will get both cameras independently and not the two together. Now, even if you have the cloud service, I would suggest still getting an SD card for your camera. The reason is that the SD card can record continuously, whereas the cloud service will cut off after a short period of time. So this will give you a better context as to what was happening before and after the event. If the event didn't record fully to the cloud, you will have it here on the SD card. This will take a maximum of a 512 gigabyte card, and because you've got two cameras here that are recording simultaneously, you will need probably a larger card on this camera versus some of the other Wyze cameras. So I think probably a 64 or 128 gigabyte card is probably the sweet spot for this one. I'm finding it's recording about a half a gigabyte per hour, about 500 megabytes per hour. And what happens is as the card fills up, it will erase the oldest footage and keep recording. So you'll definitely want to get as big a card as you can afford for this one, just so you can have a good retention of footage over time. But I do want to draw your attention to the event recording screen, because this does show you some of the limitations you'll encounter if you're not paying for the subscription. So for example, we've got this option here called Recording Cooldown. And if I tap on this, you will see that it's currently set for 5 minutes. Now what this means is that when the camera detects motion, it will send a push notification to your phone. It will send a photo up to the cloud and add that photo to your event screen that we saw earlier. Additionally, it's going to put a motion event on your SD card timeline. But then it will wait for 5 minutes before it sends another one. So even if there was motion 3 minutes afterward, it's not going to notify you about it because you're not subscribed to the cloud service. Now, if you are using the SD card, it will record, so you can watch it, But these notifications that you just saw will only come once every 5 minutes without the subscription. Additionally, if you wanted to use some of the smart detection events here, you can't select the option because that requires the subscription, but you can see some of the things that the subscription would let you do, which is notify you only if a person or a vehicle or a pet shows up and not everything. So it is much more limited from a detection standpoint and from a notification standpoint. And that's why if you are intending to buy this camera and not pay for the subscription, you definitely need an SD card to be able to make use of its features. And even then, those features will be a little limited. So I think if you're somebody who's happy in the Wyze ecosystem, you're going to like this product quite a bit. I like how you can deploy both a fixed and movable camera with one power source in one spot, and it seems to work pretty well with decent visual and audio quality. But again, the subscription is going to limit you quite a bit. And if you are not intending to pay for the subscription, you need an SD card here to use this camera. So definitely pick that one up if you are shopping. That will do it for this one. Until next time, this is Lon.TV. Thanks for watching.